Hello, welcome in and welcome back. I'm OK Repeat and we are back again with Kentucky Route Zero. We're in Chapter 5, the final phase, and right now, we're a cat. We're that cat right there. And in a moment, we're gonna meow and we're gonna race off to something and we're gonna win because that's what we do as winners. So, let's go. Affirmative meow. Bring it on, boy. He just challenged us to a race. Come, stand here. This is the starting line. Ezra, ready? Oh. I didn't know we were going. Emily, what's this? I think I won. Maybe he did. Ezra, alright. Ezra, I guess cats play by their own rules, huh? That we do. I kind of ran off to the side. I guess we're done playing with Ezra because we're a cat. Hello, lady. I saw you standing there. Nikki. Until finally it just gave way. What gave way? But you did good work. It's not your fault. Oh, maybe talking about the house. They didn't let you finish. That's all. If they let you finish, oh, forget about it. Nikki, this place would be dry as a bone. You always did good work. Oh, she's talking to the mysterious stranger. You remember she went to... There was talk about there being a mysterious stranger who showed up, and I think he was actually the one that was digging in the ground. But I also felt like that happened maybe in the past, like the far distant past, but either she's older than she looks, or maybe it was more recent than anyone's willing to agree to. Oh, meow. Meow. Inquisitive meow. Tell me more, human. Nikki, it's a memorial. I mean, I could kind of see why they'd be unhappy. They can't have streets in this area. Although this is a road leading right there. I don't feel like that was always the road, but they said earlier, didn't they, in the previous episode, that there were no roads in this place? Cat in the shed. Rita tore up weeds. Elmo stood next to her with a bucket. She passed him the uprooted weeds, and he stuffed them in the bucket. They worked this way for a few hours. Dark clouds drifted closer, but wouldn't arrive until evening. That's not a very good way to do it. It'd be easier if you just put the bucket on the ground and then let her put the weeds in, and then you sit down and also help pull weeds. Because if we're passing weeds to each other, then they're gonna fall on the ground, half of them. You can never pass them all. I'm strangely passionate about this, so bear with me. Rita and Elmo left to get some tea. The bucket of weeds sat warming in the sun. The dandelions wilted and the clovers dried. Some wayward insects continued to eat. When Rita and Elmo returned, they assumed the same roles and continued working. The garden was coming along as well as they could hope, given months of neglect. When the plant shut down, the company abruptly pulled out of the area and took a large part of the town's population with it. This included the Carver family, who had tended this garden, the largest and most productive in town, for years. So they started after a long while. So is this months later then? After the flood? Neglect. Let's hear about the neglect. Rita and Elmo worked until it started to rain. The rain washed their sweat into the dirt. You know, if it's a large garden, I still stand by my earlier statement that one person holding a bucket and and passing the other person the weeds is not a good way to get anything done. Very large town. I'm over here. Come and get me, little kitty cat. This poor cat. Or maybe he's super happy. Getting all this exercise. Shannon! Shannon, Shannon! Meow. Greeting meow. We like the Shannon. Oh, hi, kitty. Shannon chatty meow. Or not Shannon, but kitty. Shannon, yes, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Shan, I guess the weather was pretty bad last night, though. No, so this seems like it's still in the present. Confident meow. Shan, you're a chatty one, aren't you? What can I say? Have a lot to chat about. Fanciful meow. Meow. Shannon, sure, whatever you say. Haha. Alright, thank you for signing over all the things that you own. Curt meow. If you don't want to hear more of my lovely ideas, though. I see when I'm not wanted. Shannon, alright, well, take care of yourself. I shall, Shannon, you know that? I shall take care of myself. No need to tell me twice. Can I go up here? I could go up here. Waffles and weather. Ezra, hello. Those birds! Ah! They mess with me. I keep on thinking it's people screaming. Rita, look at this place. The library. Ah, what a mess. Rita, do you know how long you have to be asleep before you can start dreaming? Rita, I'm basically like this building's only next of kin. Rita, I feel like I should give you a tour, but let's skip to the good part. Any question? Ezra, did they ever cook food here? Ezra, was it for people or animals? Ezra, did it have a secret name or just a regular one? What kind of parties did they have here? All very good questions. Secret names. Rita, I don't know if it was secret or if they just couldn't decide on a name. I think they just called it the library. Rita, I try not to learn any secrets if I can help it. Keeps the mystery alive. Rita, I like that kind of history, the lived-in details. My friend Bert says the work of history is to find a pattern in the unasked questions. Rita, in the evening when the Chinese wall was finished, where did the Masons go? Rita, Caesar beat the Gauls. Was there not even a cook in his army? Rita, yeah, this is a special place. I feel a little guilty. Rita, you'd fit right in here. Sure, it's a mess right now, but there's some residual energy from those fearless experimenters I don't think will ever dissipate. Ezra, I could stay here. Ezra, I don't think I'd want to live in a place like this. Depends on where they're going. Junebug and Johnny walk up. Rita, oh hi. Hey, aren't you? Johnny to Ezra. What's good, little dude? Ezra, we were talking about the library. Rita to Ezra. Oh, is this your family? Oh, are you in the band? Rita to Ezra. Friends of yours? What do you think, kid? Junebug, what do you think, kid? We've got room for a drummer. Ezra. Nah, I've got my own project. I haven't heard of any projects, and he's dropped hints a couple times about wanting to join. Ezra, I'm great at drums. I know where all the buttons are. Ezra, I should probably get back to Julian. Oh, did we make the decision right there? I mean, can we have a bird in our band? I bet that could be cool. Ron dug a grave. Rita, hey, this book's in pretty good shape. Rita, the City of Ladies. Interesting. Tell me more, human. Curious. Meow. Curious. Rita, no, I've never read it either. Inquisitive meow. Rita, good question. Let's take a look. What year was it published in? Rita, here we go. Minerva circa Sappho. Rita, and some ladies from the Bible. What did I ask? Or what did you think I asked? Nosy meow. Rita, I think they all get together and build a city. How on point. Sounds nice. I'll get us a bus ticket, eh? Why go there to build a city when we have one here? Oh, it's pretty recent. The horses are still there. They wouldn't leave dead horses for that long. The neighbors. Oh, Elmo. And ever since then, I've just been treating it like a little cafe for the town. But before that, it was the company store. Let's focus on the future. Cafe. Johnny, oh yeah? You like to cook? Johnny, everybody pitches in? Yeah, it's a community thing. But I make the waffles. Elmo, people have to look out for each other here. It's always been that way. Elmo, if you want, and you promise to keep it a secret, I'll pass on my waffle recipe before I head out. Oh, Elmo, are you leaving too? Elmo, I will take my waffle recipe to the grave. Johnny, why so secretive? Johnny, that's okay. I don't really eat. Elmo, the mystery adds to the flavor. Elmo, I just can't bear the thought of any sons of... I just can't bear the thought of any son of a bitch from that power company eating one of my waffles. Elmo, I once led a demonstration march right down this main strip here, back in the bad old days. Elmo, back before the power company pulled out, I was in fear of my life half the time. So the thing I thought was a street mysteriously appearing was just the landing strip, the main strip. Elmo, well, I know I'm not sticking around. You think you'll do anything with this place? Elmo, we oughta just set this place on fire. Johnny, hey, people gotta eat, right? Well, some people. Johnny, well, we'll think of something. What are the acoustics like? Always considering those acoustics. Are we looking into the past again? Where are we going? Where are we going? I thought we were going to jump up on that table. Unless we're taking an indirect route. 3A, lay paper flat. 3B, bring bottom left corner up to right corner. 3C, crease with firm, steady pressure along diagonal fold. This is instructions for folding something like origami. I know because I've done it. Or it's something else. Watch as I'm completely wrong. Nikki applied only gentle pressure. Looser flowers felt more alive. She rolled her wrists. It was the 6th hour of her assigned company store shift, and she'd made dozens of flowers. Ron had bought a bouquet and cleaned out their stock that afternoon. 11. Repeat steps 4A through 7 for each petal, taking care not to rip the filaments from step 9. I think I could hear that march that Elmo was talking about. The company store used to have a dedicated staff until the civic responsibility plan a few years back. Now everyone took 1 or 2 shifts a week on a mandatory volunteer basis. I love mandatory volunteering. A commotion outside caught Nikki's attention. Men, yelling, blows, landing. She put down her work and stepped out just in time to see the crowd disperse. Oh, maybe this is when the stranger got... I'm assuming the stranger got killed by something. But what? Well, who knows? I mean, hopefully soon we'll know. Curious, meow. What are we curious about? Something brown scurries up the side of the tree. Over here. Is it a squirrel? What is it? A squirrel? Too fast to tell. I didn't see it. It must be very fast. Meow. Or maybe the horses are gone. I thought this was a horse, but I think this is this a horse or is this somebody just laying there? That'd be weird for someone to be laying there. But we could sit here. Oh, yep, that's Clyde laying in the runway. Clyde lay on his back on the runway, hands folded behind his head, halfway between dream and the afternoon sun. He entertained the momentary delusion that he'd survived a plane crash, and was vaguely unhappy when the dream faded. The runway smelled like oil, years of leaky light aircraft taking off and landing. All the state said they wanted was to knock down some trees. many trees, and build a road tying this small town to the larger web of streets and highways that entombed the rest of the country. But Clyde and his inner circle of stunt pilots turned mail carriers knew that a road would be the end of their secluded paradise. It would be the end. Ah, their little boat. It's made it quite a way. Is that Molly? Flora, that's her name, Flora. Choppy seas today, Captain. Ezra, aye, Captain. Let's reinforce the sails. I remember her doing that earlier. Can we mess with it? Your boat is looking pretty good. Oh, that's the shoveling I heard. There's only 2 horses, or did the rest maybe survive? Poor neighbors. Ron, this weather makes you kind of wish it never stopped raining. Ron, 6 feet, that's the standard. Standard for people anyway, but... Ron, 6 feet's the rule for a person, and let's say the average person is 5'9". Ron, maybe I ought to stick to the traditional depth, out of respect. Is that respect? To treat them like us? Or is it more respectful to treat them like what they were? Ron, just what are we burying here anyways? Is it them or us? Or some mix of both? Ron, well, I know damn sure what I was pulling out of the water. Ron, I wonder what would have been company policy on hiring centaurs. Strong and smart, but probably union. So heavy. Waterlogged. God, that's not how I want to remember them. Ron just got so deep so fast. It shouldn't have been that deep there, and I know who to blame, I tell you what. Ron, if those greedy sons of bitches had finished that drainage ditch when they were supposed to. Ron, they built so much here. They ought to be here still cleaning up. Ron, I guess they left a vacuum, the power company. Hell, not that I miss them. Very tragic indeed. Poor horses. Can we talk to you, oh mystic one? Nah? Hey, the gang's over here. Johnny, ah, damn, there he goes. Can we go in after him? Oh, he's ran off to the Junebug. In the bushes? Johnny, yeah. Junebug, after the raccoon? Johnny, yeah. Junebug, no. Johnny, but... Junebug, it's probably full of thorns. You're robots, you won't feel it. Johnny, but... Raccoon. Junebug, it's not happening. Johnny, okay. Junebug, oh, don't pout. Tell you what, if that raccoon comes back into town, we'll leave some food out for him. They're like vibrating next to each other. Can't even stand, they're so excited. Raccoons. Who would have thought they'd be that exciting? Shan, hey! Hey, don't run in the graveyard. It is rather disrespectful. Ezra, why not? Shannon, it's... People are trying to rest. Mm-hmm. Tell him, cat. Shan, agreed. Just vibrating. I guess nothing more to say after that. After all, people are trying to rest, so we should be quiet. Let's go check out this painting. Oh, it's in memory of the horses. The good old neighbors. Ooh. Meow. Alert meow. I almost missed this. A croak reverberates inside the smoker. Excited meow. A frog slips out into the grass, too quick to see. Aw, I think he got away. Ah, the lady that was napping is no longer napping. Funny how that works. But is the plane fixed? Yes, it does seem to be. I was wondering why you weren't working on it anymore. Nothing to say? Oh, that's because we're just watching. Watching as it might not be working. Let's not stand in front of it though, just in case it does work. We don't want to lose the cat too. We've lost so much already. Hide behind Ezra. Congrats, you got it working. Are you gonna take off? No? Maybe not that working that well. Junebug, I really like this knife. That's perfect to hear in a conversation as you walk in. Johnny, it has an aura. Know what I mean? Junebug, an aura. Johnny, yeah, like it wasn't exactly used to cut apples. Junebug, it's meant for greater things. Johnny, yes, ma'am. Anything to say about your plane? Ezra, where are you flying to? Clyde, flying? Ha! I'm just checking to see if everything's working okay. Ezra, you could fly her somewhere if you wanted to, though, right? Clyde, of course. Ezra, so why don't you? Clyde, here we go. Keep your distance now. He's like, I gotta show this punk kid. Yep, there we go. There he goes. Gonna take off. Sailing off into the sunset. I'm sure Ezra is excited by the idea of being able to fly with Julian. Ah, more stuff's been added to the building. He's not going fast enough to take off. Is the ground too muddy, perhaps? Nope. I thought that was for the plane, but... Clyde and Cass sat cross-legged in the shade of a light aircraft. Cass shuffling cards and Clyde absently flipping through a stack of unopened letters. Demand for aerial stunts have faded almost completely, and many of their company have died or aged out of the profession. Clyde and Cass found for their remaining pilots a steady flow of contract work delivering mail to remote rural areas, but this place was abandoned. Cass's cards predicted they'd be here for quite a while. Did they run out of gas? And so they were. So they were. Nothing to say about that? Sit on another mound. There's a ton of them. She watched him. She stood in her own shadow. A few deer hunters and talkers walked past, but said nothing to the seer, didn't even look. She studied the path. This was the path the seer had found in her scrying game, a series of private dice rolls and inscrutable diagrams. The community trusted this game. It had led them to fish-filled streams, intimate knowledge of the elements and the stars, even here to the cenote settlement. They trusted it without understanding it. And now the game had revealed to the seer this vital route, which would lead them to safety before the next floods came. At the end of the route, she'd seen a safe, quiet place. Caverns of leathery black birds, a lake of eyeless fish, a towering flame. Okay, maybe that's an average-sized person, but for a moment I thought seems like a giant in the background. Like a siren head or something. Now, the diver walked the mounds, memorizing the route. He was almost ready. Is the diver the mysterious stranger, maybe stuck out of time? Or maybe the people that I've thought are way in the past are actually in the future, and the stranger is someone who went back in time trying to save them by digging that mound, that route. I mean, that's one way to solve your problems. Just go into the past and make sure they don't happen. I mean, you might break reality, but it's a risk I take sometimes. Johnny, alright man, let's see what you've got. Elmo, this one looks like it might still play. Where are you two? Johnny, oh, Bill Monroe, great. Shoot. Nope. Oh, I guess you're in here. Johnny, alright man, let's see what you've got. Bill Monroe, great. Oop, don't run away, cat. Oh, yeah, we had a few of his. Johnny, man, this is a barnstormer. Popular? Elmo, they used to be, but then the jukebox started to wear down. Elmo, the longer it would run, the slower it would play. And Elmo, and then these weird echoes would start to come in. Elmo, just like the music was leaking and just pulling up in the bottom somewhere until everything was drowning. That's kind of a poetic way of putting it. After a few hours, no matter what you put in the jukebox, it just came out strange. Wrong. Johnny, I don't know. That sounds pretty cool to me, man. Sounds pretty cool to me. I agree with Johnny. Johnny, you are always on point. Let's go peer at those weird birds. Still pretty weird. I see they've all migrated over here as the sun is shifting. Rita, I even lived in there for a bit. Shannon, no way. Rita, yeah, too drafty. I moved out one winter and never looked back. Shannon, it gets cold? Rita, sure, when the sun is down. Makes sense. Rita, nice old church though. Shannon, really nice. Could make a nice workshop. Rita, there you go. They're all just really, I don't know, I find it kind of weird how they're just so eager to move into this town. I get that it was kind of established. Is that another cat? Kitty cat. I'm a cat too. Oh no, I can't get up to them. It was kind of established earlier that I got just distracted by those cats. It was established earlier in the intermission that people come and go to this town, so it's not strange. But the way they feel pulled is odd now compared to what previously was. Something in the bush stirs. Inquisitive meow. No response. Even more suspicious. Because they had their hopes and dreams, and now suddenly their hopes and dreams are full of what life can we make at this random town with all this stuff compared to whatever else they were thinking of previously. Any luck in this old joint? Emily, yeah, I'll miss them for sure. Beautiful creatures, and so thoughtful. Emily, and Rita never got as many bands to come up here as she would have liked, I think, but it's always a blast. Junebug, I bet. Where do you think you'll go? Emily, whoa, look at this. Emily pulls out a videotape out of the rubble. Emily pulls out a piece of slate adorned with partial circuit diagrams out of the rubble. Oh, was that the board that the one guy was working on? Pulls a broken projector out of the rubble. That's Weaver. Elmo's projector. Aw, it's ruined. Poor Elmo. He'll be devastated. Nah, he'll be cool with it. Takes a lot to perturb that guy. I saw a lot of dubious weather reports on this thing. Emily pulls a videotape out of the rubble. Pulls a piece of slate adorned with partial circuit diagram out of the rubble. Let's see the video. Junebug, home movies? Emily, the label's all muddy. Emily, looks like... Oh, it's cave art. Cool. Who knows if it'll play, though. Emily, oh, this is Rita's tape. I should get this to her. Maybe she can clean it up. Emily, very little I could salvage here. It wouldn't mean anything anyways. It's kind of a package deal. Emily, I think the ceremony is around dusk. Junebug, ceremony? Oh, right, the horses. Sorry, the neighbors. Junebug, yeah, we'll stick around. Nowhere to be. The neighbors, yeah. And this corner was where all of the tapes sat, so even though it was the driest corner, like the fact that everything else in these corners is still just fine. Kind of, yeah, this was one of the tape holding carts. Hello again, Shannon. Shannon, oh, I don't know, just a bunch of old stuff. It's hard to imagine someone ordering this. Like, these things, specifically why these things? Oh yeah, these chairs, I guess. This folding rocking chair, it's nice, but so peculiar. Someone really wanted this chair. Now we're setting it all up, trying to reverse engineer this person we've never met. I'd kind of feel like we are that person. We're making that person right now together. Watch as it's Weaver. Reassuring meow. Yeah, thanks. That helps. It's really for the cat, though. Maybe Weaver is the cat, or the cat is Weaver. Because Weaver, I think, is stuck in another dimension. That's the only thing that's made sense about why she shows up the way she does. Although, how she got stuck there, no one can say. No one can say. Ron, hand me that rag, would you? The one with the embroidered bird on it. Ezra, this one? Ron, does it have a bird on it? I think so. Ron, don't you know what a bird looks like? Bees? Ezra, I thought it was pretty small. I thought it was some letters. I guess that could be a bird on in there. Can we go in there? Oh shoot, I clicked through things. Maybe that's feathers. I got very worried that the guy was gonna die in here from the bees. But no, we're just meowing at the leaves. Poor kitty cat, get out of there. Are you okay? Have I lost my spirit guide? Ezra, I guess that could be a bird on there. Well, it's a rag, ain't it? As long as it's a rag, I guess it'll work for mop and sweat. Ezra, yeah, it's a rag for sure. So I guess I didn't really miss anything. Except the cause of that wild storm. Sounds eerie in there now. Oh. The bell. Yes. No way the birds would still sit there. They'd be like, ah, caw, and like jump away and, well, fly away as birds tend to do, you know. That's what birds do. So tolls the bell. Oh, the house is really coming along now. They're even hanging up pictures and everything. Yeah, they really did fit a lot in that truck. Oh my gosh, I didn't know they had brought that much stuff with them. It's a good thing we parked just underneath basically the building. Like, it was just a straight shoot up. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to leave this place. You just have to go back down, wait for that boat to come back. The mushy mammoth, and then be able to... I guess it's time for the evening news, or the evening ceremony. But it wouldn't be that hard to leave. Ah, yes. Here we go. Emily. Hey, y'all. Thanks for sticking around for this. I know we've all got places to... Well, if anyone still needs somewhere to go, be sure and speak up, okay? I think Ron's heading through the woods tonight, back to the road if you want a caravan. Ron, you staying, Em? Emily. Yeah, sure, I'll stay. Emily, at least for a while. I just want to make sure everyone has somewhere to go. Emily, I think we could build something here again. This place has good bones. For right now, though, we've got some friends to bury. The neighbors. Nikki has a poem and I have a song. If anyone wants to say anything, though, I'll go first. The neighbors were kind, gentle, beautiful horses. I used to go on walks with the silver one out in the woods. Why didn't anyone ever give them names? The silver one, well, I guess he was gray, but his coat looks silver in the light. So I always called him that in my head. And the other one is the other one. And I loved these horses. But you never know it if you heard me talk about them like that. So I'm sorry, silver one and other one. Sorry you don't have better names for you. You deserved better names. Also sorry I'm so bad at this. Anyone else have anything to say? Ron, I've got something to say. Elmo, I was thinking about when all those canned carrots showed up in the mail. Rita, we didn't give them names because their names weren't ours to give. The horses were here before us, you know. They came up with the people from Central America. You know, the utopians, the people of nothing. The people of nothing arrived by horseback in October, and their first experiment was to free the horses. Ah, the people of nothing, that's who the cat's been seeing. That was generations ago of people and horses. I don't know when we started calling them the neighbors. We should have called them the people, I think. They were the only consistent residents of this place for over 100 years, and now they're all gone. Who are the people now? Ron, I've got something to say. I was thinking about when all those canned carrots showed up in the mail. I won't hear about that. Something more lighthearted. You all remember that? Somebody was calling around with some canned carrots they wanted to get rid of, and I guess Consolidated Power got word of it. So these cans of carrots showed up in the mail, and we didn't know where they came from at first. I tried some out. No flavor to them. Some of them were gray, just awful. Rita said that it's still okay to eat, like sometimes carrots just lose their color if they sit in a can too long, but nobody wanted them, really. Well, Aunt Connie came out on TV with a message like, "Hope the horses are enjoying their treat," and we thought, oh, these are for the neighbors, sure. Horses love carrots, right? But the neighbors wouldn't touch 'em, wouldn't even look at 'em. You'd think they were canned rocks. We opened a couple dozen and set them all out by the water trough, and they were still there a day later. Even the raccoons steered clear. And then, of course, Consolidated sent us an invoice for every can we'd open, already made out in company script. How'd you like that? Emily, okay, I guess we better move on. Nikki, you ready? Oh, wait, the other person had something they wanted to say. Sorry, other person. Ah, Nikki. Nikki, thanks for sticking around like Emily said. It's so good to have you all here for this. Well, the weather turned out to get okay today, didn't it? Nikki, I know some people had to leave already. I don't judge anyone for that. I think the neighbors would have liked this, all of us gathered here. They like to be around people, 'cause they were the people. Ma, you and our other visitors might not know about the out-of-towner. He came here to work for the company, to dig a ditch, and the company worked him good and hard, and for less than he was worth. But it wasn't enough. They had to use him up completely. After that, we became ungovernable, first out of shame, then grief, then anger. I wanted to write this poem because of the neighbors led me through that time. This is a poem for the neighbors, but it's also for this town. We're gonna bury this town today when we bury these horses. It's the same thing. We're gonna bury these horses, and what do you think will happen next? We'll all walk out in the woods and leave this place empty. No, I guess some of us might stay and build again? That's alright. It couldn't be me, though. But to try is your birthright. If you do stay, you'll be building on top of a grave. But that's True anywhere. The whole world is built on top of graves. Well, that's morbid. Look for me under your boot soles, as the fella says. Nikki clears her throat and begins reading from the paper she's holding. I think the grass will never grow again. We all leave town and call that town a ghost, for we who stayed in shame to penance pay. What ghost gave this town breath and made it home, and now that breath has gone, we buried it here. What's left is not a ghost, it's just the bones. Nikki closes her eyes for a moment before continuing. Nikki directs her attention at Shannon. Nikki's hand trembles a bit as she reads from the paper. Our neighbors were the best of us. Of course, it's always so. Our better selves, clear of ourselves, where we can see their glory glow. They glow now, underground, our friends, with love. I have no will left to comfort you. Our neighbors left us here, though not alone. To greener pastures, we might say, but lie. So let me try instead to share your woe. But staring at the clouds, my vision showed. Where friends have gone, we hope one day to go. Here we lay our town and friends to rest, in distant valleys, home to better friends. Below the earth in damp, torchlit caves. May yet some day a new hill grass grown return their souls in peace and gently roam. Some other cherished fools will build their home. Quite the poem. Then we buried the horses.
I've heard of a land of joy and peace and wonderful life. A beautiful place of mansions fair and skies so bright.
I could see ghosts behind them.
Where all who believe the Savior dear forever shall stay. And having been saved by grace divine, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray. Just singing praises all day long. I'm going that way. Well, glorious news I tell and sing as onward I go. For those who are still astray in sin, my Savior may know. I want them to sing that praise above some beautiful day. For glory to Him who died for me, I'm going that way. I know I shall meet Him at the gate when trials are past. I know I shall meet Him face to face in glory at last. Oh, I believe that when we meet, well done, He'll say. While trusting that soul redeeming love, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray. Just singing praises all day long. I'm going that
That was touching. All the ghosts showing up. And just the cats. Okay, we have control again. People are already heading out. That was a rather heartbreaking moment. Yep, everyone's slowly going out. I'm guessing Ron will start doing the deed. Because if everyone leaves, then who's gonna be left to bury the horse? Such a tragic thing to think of, really. The death of a town. You don't see it too often these days. But then again, this was more than the death of a town. It was death of generations. Maybe I should be following the others. Wait for me. Don't leave me here. Where are y'all going? Aww. I could feel that warmth they mentioned earlier. This house looks pretty good. Can't control the cat anymore. As the sun slowly sets, people heading out on new adventures and old adventures and just trying to find themselves, because life is unpredictable like that. You never know where it's going to take you. You never know who you're going to be with. The end. The end. Look for me under your boot soles. And there it is. The end of Act 5. Bringing us back to Act 1. There's... Some might say that this game raised many questions and did not answer them. And I just said that technically. But one of the... I guess what you could also consider is that a lot of the questions were questions of what happened to people, or where were people going, or what was going on, and I mean, that's life. Like, this game was very much a game about life, in that you never know who you're gonna be with, you never know for how long, and you always have a limit in what paths you could take. So it scored very well for realism in that way. You could spend many hours considering what paths you could have taken, and there can be some solace and some pain in that, but you could also look to the future and wonder what might yet come. I wonder if there is going to be another DLC for this area. I haven't heard anything, but I also haven't looked because, you know, I didn't want spoilers for 5, so if there is, I'll play it, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. For as winding as the path was, I enjoyed a lot of the people. I grew to care for them as well as you could care for characters who have very indistinct features, but very distinct personalities. I hope you all enjoyed this winding journey, and I'm glad you all stuck around through it. If you're here, you did. Or you just jumped to the very last episode, which is very bold move. Probably didn't understand anything that was going on, but yeah. Thank you very much for sticking around. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until we meet again, bye!